You know that I got the mother sauce, man. You know I'm the all I will never fall. It's the renaissance. You know that I got the mother sauce, man. You know I'm the boss. I know what it costs. Have you had a loss? I'm so versatile. Yeah, I'm a renaissance, man.
Here we go. Today, the New York Jets and the Falcons had their second joint practice, and it was another day in which we can confidently say that the New York Jets are not the same Jets of times past. Now, again, granted, a lot of people are going to say, again, it's just practice, and it's also the Falcons. At this point, you're clearly seeing that the New York Jets have a much better roster talent-wise than the Falcons do. So wasn't really that exciting today. They didn't have any pads on today, so it was kind of a light practice. Tomorrow there's not going to be any training camp, and of course on Monday night on ESPN we get to watch the Jets versus the Falcons live. So everybody be able to see it. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of a plus and a bonus. So let's get into today, right? So today, first and foremost, let's talk about injuries. Marcus Joyner finally comes back from injury, which actually we just found out today it was actually an illness, not an injury. Good thing for us because we know last year he missed the entire season. So not quite knowing whether or not he was injured throughout this entire preseason and training camp has been kind of concerning. Now we know it was purely just the illness, wasn't an issue. He was able to go ahead and work back some and to get some reps in today, coming back into the fold. Also, on the other hand, he got a much needed rest day. So the New York Jets are taking their time when it comes to Carl Lawson bringing him back. Again, last year, it was about a year ago last year, actually, that, we had the horrible injury to him. And I think they're just trying to go ahead and make sure that he's rested and he's ready to go when it really starts counting more. They're doing everything they can this year to go ahead and make sure their starters make it into the starting lineup. So he had a rest day today. You could see him on the sideline, pretty much on a stationary bike, getting mental reps in, watching the game, and of course, just pedaling away. Now, in the rehab area, you saw Quentin Williams, you saw Bryce Huff, and you saw Dwayne Brown. So that just again coming along a little bit in terms of the entire process of getting those guys ready, their bodies ready. They're coming back from some minor injuries, nothing too crazy. Dwayne Brown is just a ramp up period. They're just trying to go ahead and get him to a point to where he can fully get into games. He's understanding the offense. Again, this is a very familiar scheme to him, but they just kind of want to make sure that he's like legitimately in game shape before you put him out there. There's no rush into getting Dwayne Brown out there. He's a seasoned veteran, so ultimately them taking their time and bringing him along slowly is only a good thing for us because that's just going to reduce the chances of him getting injured in a meaningless preseason game or meaningless training camp, right? So seeing him in the ramp up process today, he was looking pretty good as well. On another note, we did see our boy Bane, aka Michael Clemens, walking off the field today, right? At first, it was concerning. There was like you can tell everybody kind of held their breath. Twitter went wild whenever he was walking to the sideline. However, it appeared to be that there was an injury to, or not an injury, but a hit to his rib. He took a rib shot with somebody's helmet, so he appears to be fine. Nobody seems to be too concerned about it. However, we don't know how that helmet is doing after colliding with Bane. So in terms of injuries, aka any kind of bad, that would pretty much be it. The rest of the day was another repeat of what we saw yesterday. This time with just no pads. It was shorts and lids. And man, Elijah Moore, Garrett Wilson, Corey Davis, Tyler Conklin, Brees Hall had a long run today. The offense continues to spin as if, you know what I'm saying, like now they're really getting their timing right. Again, we're talking about guys who are going through their second year now together. Even with the addition of Garrett Wilson and Brees Hall, you can see their level of comprehension is showing through in their effectiveness on the field. Garrett Wilson had some beautiful catches today. I know one of them didn't count, but man, it was a gorgeous one that he climbed the rope pretty much to go up and get. He did get a touchdown. Elijah Moore got a touchdown. Tyler Conklin got a touchdown. Um, Corey Davis had a beautiful catch. That was a beautiful catch as well that he got. Overall, man, Joe Flacco is clicking with these guys. It's a positive thing. Joe Flacco didn't throw an interception today, which is a good thing. He was extremely hot, in the red zone or in one period where he went. It took him 3 plays to go 60 yards to go ahead and then punch it in with Tyler Conklin for a touchdown. Like Joe Flacco understands this offense, is showing the timing and touch with these players, which is a good thing, right? So a lot of people right now are the debate is starting, right? Well, he looks this good right now. What about if he starts 2-0, 3-0, 4-0? It's been a constant conversation or question being asked. My brother actually just recently asked me the same question, and I really had to think hard about it, right? So for me, it's all about seeing if Zach Wilson is Zach Wilson. There was a sighting of him today again on the cart. There was some miscommunication or misinterpretation of whether or not when he drove up to the building when he got out of the cart, was he limping? Was he not limping? Nobody knows. There was a compression brace on that right knee. But however, Zach Wilson, of course, is on the recovery, and I believe that he'll probably be ready to go, truthfully, within the first week or two of once the season starts. So then the question starts: if Joe Flacco starts off 2-0, what do we do? If Joe Flacco starts off 3-0, 4-0, what do we do? It's one of those things where I know we need to see what Zach Wilson is about, and then after I've thought about it more and more, I realized this is only year two for Zach Wilson. And in all actuality, like, would it really be that damaging for the kid to sit back a little bit to watch the game and learn from the sidelines? I mean, I know a lot of us want to kind of have an answer about like who he like, is he our franchise guy? But he's in year two of a 4-year contract with the fifth year option still being on the table, right? And if Joe Flacco starts off 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, like, what do we do? Do we legitimately bench Joe and bring in Zach Wilson? Like, that's a question I'm legitimately asking. Like, so in the comments, let me know what you think about that. Are you willing to let Joe Flacco play out the year if we start off hot, 2-0, 3-0, for whatever the number is? Or do we bring in Zach Wilson to make sure we know what we have in this guy by the end of this season? But in terms of the offense, they were firing on all cylinders. Like, really, again, it wasn't that crazy of a day. So to just keep telling you like the good that happened, Joe Flacco looked good. Mike White's continuing to show that he's got really good short accuracy, good pocket awareness. He does have some traits as you watch him play that that are very they're starter caliber like traits, right? I mean, again, he's got that limited arm strength. His deep ball accuracy is still in question, but that short to intermediate accuracy has proven to be pretty good. And in terms of timing, he seems to get the timing down really well as well with these guys. But at the end of the day, Zach Wilson's the quarterback, right? He's the franchise. So just the question I had to ask you guys: what would y'all do? Would y'all decide to leave Joe in or bring Zach in if Joe Flacco starts off hot and we go undefeated by the time Zach Wilson's ready to play? So the offense firing as well as they are, we go to the defensive side of the ball. Hey, Jermaine Johnson got another sack. Got another sack today. I think like he's gotten a few days like in a row now where he's gotten sacks. We saw plays being had again by Sauce Gardner. At some point, he was matched up on Kyle Pitts, which is something that was kind of exciting because him and Kyle Pitts are two freaks of nature when it comes to their positions in the NFL. And kind of seeing those two go at it was kind of nice. I think it was only two plays, right? At least I can only find two plays about it. And Kyle Pitts did not make a catch on it, but although Sauce Gardner was pretty much right on his hip, there were some pretty bad throws, so we really can't judge whether or not Kyle Pitts would have had a shot at it if the ball was actually catchable. Nonetheless, it's exciting to see the kid getting some experience against a talent like Kyle Pitts, because if anything, like Kyle Pitts is probably somebody that could go toe to toe with Sauce Gardner in terms of size, speed, and length, right? That free combination of attributes. So to see him kind of be right in his hip pocket, while he was guarding him today was refreshing to see that he's got that fluidity, the movement speed to be able to stick with a guy like Kyle Pitts. So Sauce Gardner continues to impress. There was an incident though in terms of the defense in red zone drills that they did give up a couple of touchdowns. Well, actually, it was two touchdowns to Kyle Pitts actually. So in red zone drills, the offense was able to go ahead and get the best of the defense. It happens. It happens, right? Like at that point, it's short intermediate area. Things get a little more concise. And again, Kyle Pitts is a freak of nature, so was able to go ahead and score on the defense in those drills, right? So if there was another negative, it would be those two scores given up. But in actuality, like it didn't matter, right? The Jets on offense and defense, if this was a game, would have dominated across the board. But at the end of the day, man, like a good practice today. Another good practice today. We just continue to see those guys putting it all together. Um, I guess one of the things we got to talk about is some of Robert Sala's concerns, right? So with the joint practices currently ongoing and how they've gone, he's feeling conflicted on whether or not he's going to allow his guys to play on Monday night, right? So he doesn't know if he wants to put the starters in there. He talks about how like he goes to sleep and he wakes up, he's gonna do one thing, then he wakes up the next day and changes it up again. He's all about trying to find that perfect balance. And I think he's being as cautious as possible because the last thing the Jets need right now, with the level of momentum we have going through the season, is an unnecessary injury in a preseason game where during joint practices, he felt those guys did get a lot of that work that they needed. However, I do believe that they're still going to let Carl Lawson get a couple of reps in, no matter what. He did say that that was going to be the case 2 press conferences ago or a few back. But he's right now conflicted, man. He's conflicted. And you know what? If he didn't play a single starter for the rest of this preseason, I kid you not, I think I'm okay with it. I think I'm okay with it because I really want us to go into the season opener with as much of our talent as possible, right? We just have a real big job right now to go ahead and cut this down to the final roster. They got some work to do, right? There's some decisions that need to be made. There's a couple of assets on that team right now that we should be shopping for trades. Get those guys on film. Get those guys on tape, right? So on Monday night, when it's going to be a nationally televised game, perfect time to get a lot of those guys some film so we can go ahead and boost their value up. So Denzel Mims, Braxton Berrios, I don't want to leave those guys out. They started to shine today too. Denzel Mims is really going to make this difficult. I know a lot of us were on the aspect of whether or not he was going to get traded. He was never going to get cut, but was going to get traded or stay with the Jets. And I think he's making a point that he should be a Jet. He should be a Jet. He literally is the guy after Corey Davis. It's Denzel Mims. Although Irvin Charles looked good again today as well. Brees Hall had a real long catch too. Now I think about it, like a 60-yarder or reception, something like that. But we have a bunch of guys with hands on this roster. Everybody and their mom can catch the ball. It seems like problem we have never had before. If I can honestly sit here, I don't think we've ever had this level of playmakers on our roster at one time, like, and all of them being in like prime ages, right? Like youth and prime aspect. I don't think we've seen that, right? Maybe I'm wrong, right? Maybe my brain's just not going far enough back. But overall, man, um, I don't think Denzel Mims goes anywhere. Irvin Charles, man, it's let those guys get reps. I think on Monday night you let those guys get reps. If you want to rest the starters, maybe you let Carl Lawson go in there. You know what I'm saying? Give him 2, 3 reps, whatever the case might be. Give him one series, whatever. Right? I'm okay with that too. Carl Lawson did not step on an NFL field last year to play against an opposing offense. So to get him out there now on a Monday night where the lights are brightest, just to kind of get it out of the system so he can hit somebody. I'm okay with that. But then pull him. I want to keep everybody else as safe as possible. And again, as optimistic as I am, I would like to be optimistically cautious in this case and just be like, you know what, the joint practices did what they had to do. We were able to see where we stack up against them. That Monday night is literally a pointless game. Let's just get some of these other kids on tape so we can go ahead and either boost their value or at the very least, you're offering them an opportunity to go ahead and get picked up by other teams, right? So, yeah, that was training camp day 18 today. I mean, joint practice part 2, right? So, joint practice part 2. Overall, another good day for the Jets. The talent is shining through, and it makes it that much better. We're seeing that the majority of our new guys, our rookies, just know how to ball. They know how to ball, man. And that to me is priceless. So yeah, with that said, that's your New York Jets situation report debrief on training camp day, whatever. uh aka the aka Falcons versus Jets practice, joint practice 2. All right, so there's no training camp tomorrow, but I got something coming for you guys tomorrow. So that's it. I'm done. Till next time.
Congratulations, brother. Hey.